Hey, thanks for stopping in. I really appreciate you watching my video. My name is Mark Johnson, and I'm here today to deliver another movie review. The movie I'll be reviewing today is SYNCHRONIC. It is a 2019 film release. It is directed by Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead, and is written by Justin Benson. Two New Orleans paramedics' lives are ripped apart after they encounter a series of horrific deaths linked to a designer drug with bizarre, otherworldly effects. At the start of this film, we are introduced to what seems to be two lovers, and they are kind of bunked up in a hotel room and looking to enjoy the night. They kind of got their whole setup ready to go, and they kind of cuddle up on the bed, and they start to reach for this package that says SYNCHRONIC. And they drop a pill, has a little S on it, and they each take one. And they just kind of lay back and just kind of wait for it to take a hold. And as we see them kind of like drop into this drug-induced kind of smoothness, we see that the man gets up from the bed and starts walking away, and then his girl's left in the bed just kind of cuddling up and just kind of really just kind of getting a better feel of this drug that's coursing through her veins. And they both start to have different reactions that we start to see, and then the movie starts, and we are introduced to our main characters, and Steve, who was played by Anthony Mackie, and Dennis, who was played by Jamie Dornan, and they're paramedics. And as we kind of hang around with them, we kind of get a feeling that they've been working together as partners for a while. They roll up on a house that is dealing with a drug overdose, while another person is dealing with a pretty gnarly wound on their chest. And we also kind of find out that the police are there, already on scene, trying to decipher what had happened on scene. The police kind of, again, looking around the room, asking questions, and look at the wound and speculate that it's from possibly a sword. And so they're all looking around where a sword could be, and it's not popping up. But as the paramedics, Steve and Dennis, kind of do their job and get to the point where they are out to take one of the people there to the hospital, the police find the sword behind a door stuck in the wall. The movie progresses from there, and again, we are with Steve and Dennis, and we find out that Dennis is married. He has a young child, and he also has an 18-year-old that Steve himself has kind of, in a sense, helped mentor throughout the years, or has become familiar with. And her name is Brianna. And, she's kind of standoffish at this point. We see the interaction with Steve and Brianna. He brings her a beer, and they make a joke about the beer, and that also helps solidify or show the relationship between these two. As the story progresses, from that moment we see Steve and Dennis on call, and they roll up on the scene that we were introduced with at the beginning of the film, and they are both trying to not necessarily calm down, but trying to snap this girl that was on the bed, left there with a snake bite, out of whatever thing that she's going through, because she's still staring at this position on the wall, looking at it, calling for her boyfriend, and the boyfriend's nowhere to be found. And so as they debate on what type of snake bite this is or where the snake is at, it is mentioned that if you're asking me, which is one of the people on scene, they speculate that snake bite is from a snake that doesn't even exist anymore. It's extinct. In a sense of trying to put everything together, they start looking for where the boyfriend may be, but he's nowhere to be found. And then they eventually find him in the elevator shaft at the bottom, broken up in pieces. They also find that SYNCHRONIC package, which was also at the previous scene that they had went to. And so they start putting two and two things together and figuring out, this thing's not a good sign. Whatever this is not a good sign if you see it. And so the movie progresses from there, leading up, and we get to a point where we're at another location where the ambulance or the paramedics are called to come on scene. And when they show up, there's no one to be found, but they get to a rooftop scene where a girl looks like she'd be sleeping, maybe passed out, and when she wakes up, she's like, like she doesn't even know where she's at. But as they kind of calm her down and ask her questions, she points out that there was a girl sitting in the chair over here, but she's not there anymore. And they ask what her name was, and they say Brianna. So at that point, we realize that somehow, some way, Brianna has gotten hold of this drug, and that Dennis, his daughter, is missing. And so that rips apart the family there. The mother is torn apart in the sense that she's dealing with a little child, but at the same time, her oldest child is missing. Dennis himself is trying to do the best that he can, but between work and trying to do, pass out flyers or whatever, he doesn't seem to be doing the right thing according to his wife. As we move to Steve, he's kind of on his own. He's trying to do what he can do to help, but at the same time, it seems like he's going through his own personal issues in the sense that he's going to doctors. He's taking pain meds just to kind of deal with the pain, but he's not sharing it with his partner what's going on. But we see that something is definitely going on. Steve is just kind of really faced with some issues about his health that kind of lead him to try to do something about this drug that's out there. So he goes to a head shop, and he asks the head shop if they carry SYNCHRONIC. They do, and he wants all of them. And as he's there, a man shows up that's eyeballing him at the same time. As Steve gets out to his car and is about to leave with this stash of SYNCHRONIC, the man rolls up on him and asks if he can buy all of the SYNCHRONIC that he just purchased. He even raises the price. He even doubles the price. But Steve's like, nah, we gotta get this off the street, and he leaves. That night, as Steve's in bed, he hears some things, and he comes to find out it's the same man that tried to get the SYNCHRONIC off of him, breaking into his house. And Steve, as nice as he can be about it without being too nice and being taken advantage, he demands that the man tell him what this is all about. The man gives him this story that he is the person who created the SYNCHRONIC designer drug in the lab, and that his only hope was to basically change a few things so that it could be, in a sense, legal and not be considered a criminal substance. And that as he found out what things were happening, he sought out to try to save the day by getting all of the SYNCHRONIC as possible off the market. And that's all he was trying to do. And so at that point, under hearing what this SYNCHRONIC can do, or what the possibilities can do, Steve takes it upon himself to use the drug to help find the missing girl, Brianna. So that's how the story is set up. I won't give you too much more than that. That has been my review for SYNCHRONIC, a 2019 film directed by Justin Benson and Adam Moorhead. And so for me, I feel that this film has a lot of elements that made it a very interesting film. Number one, the location, New Orleans, just any of that location. A lot to say visually. I think from there, the relationship between Steve and Dennis, I think they did that well. I mean, showing that they have a connection that's more focused toward the future. I think also just the way they weave this story of this drug within there, and how this drug affects people differently, and also, the effects that Steve was able to pull out as he started to use the drug to kind of find out what he could do, or what the capabilities of it to help find Brianna. Those are all good elements. I think at a certain point past that, as we come toward the resolution, I feel that the film kind of loses that energy, and seems like they tried to wrap it up faster than it needed to be. I'm feeling a very strong 3.5 on this film. Again, there were some elements that I would have liked to seen them really use to draw out this film just a little longer. Give me a little bit more of that mysteriousness of what the drug can do and how it works and how it affects some people. I think that would have been nice to see. But other than that, I thought that it was a strong film in itself. I felt the acting performances between Anthony Mackie and Jamie Dornan were strong, and I enjoyed that. So that has been my review for SYNCHRONIC, a 2019 film release directed by Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead. If you like this review, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you like what I'm doing on the channel, make sure to subscribe. And if you want to comment on this film because you've seen it, or if you would like to suggest a film that I watch and review on this channel, make sure to leave all of that in the comment box below. And then lastly, if you don't want to miss any of my upcoming content or other reviews, make sure to, and that way you will be notified. So again, that has been my review for SYNCHRONIC, a 2019 film release. Again, I really appreciate you watching my video. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And like we always do at this time, have a blessed day. I will see you on the flip side. Let's go.